All right, and we are live. And unlike the other previous streams where I've somehow neglected to do this for whatever reason in all of my past streams, but normally when I did this live streaming with Yiz the Eunuch, who, by the way, if you just type in Yiz the Eunuch, her channel will pop right up. We're going to do introductions, which is what you're supposed to do. But when you jump into when you start a stream and have guests, so Runner, why don't you give us your introduction, who you are, what your expertise is, what you're invested in, and then we'll go on to or
Bevo.
disavowed. I'm sorry, disavowed.
Yeah. Well, my name is Bebo, so.
Okay.
Hey, I'm a Zoomer from Australia, and I'm fairly libertarian, but more sort of middle-ish, rightish. I can be a bit extreme in a few subjects, but a few, like law and order and stuff. And
So essentially,
I am
you're a fascist.
sure. Yeah, I'm trying to fuck. I'm trying to figure out the last thing I was trying to say. Yeah, I've finally gotten a job recently, so I'm a cleaner in a sawmill factory.
Nice, nice. Well, we're all for employment, and so that brings us to the other guest, Bevo. Tell us about yourself.
I am a middle-aged, soon-to-be father of 5. I'm an expert at nothing. I would say I'm a inch deep and a mile wide. I know a little bit about everything. I grew up in Detroit, Michigan, and I consider myself to be a libertarian fascist that prefers Christian theocracy.
Oof. Oof. All right. Now, I was actually planning to have Incel Riot in on again, but it is his son's birthday, and we on the Carnal Conservative, we celebrate family at all costs. So I hope he has a wonderful day with his son and his family. So we're going to wish him well on that. And we're going to start the stream. This is titled the Election Glitches stream. And it's for me. This started actually this morning. Yesterday morning, the wife and I were getting the kids ready for their online schooling because we're too lazy to homeschool just yet. And I turned on my phone. I searched Reuters, and I saw that for whatever magical reason, that Georgia had flipped blue. And I showed this to my wife, and she's like, no way. Absolutely no fucking way. And so that's where we're at. Allegedly, due to quote-unquote election glitches, we will call them, not only have they allegedly completely got enough votes to completely flip Wisconsin and Michigan in the past 11th hour, but they finally found a way to make Georgia, a southern red bloc state, flip magically to Joe Biden. Magically. Oh, and Pennsylvania as well. Later also flipped towards Joe Biden, and reports coming in now that there's a software glitch that caused votes that were supposed to go to Donald Trump to magically switch over to Joe Biden on many of the machines in a software literally titled Dominion. My two guests, what do we take from this shocking development?
Fucking shenanigans.
No kidding. No kidding.
It will explain how he got 73 million votes.
I know. I was on Parler arguing with some asshat who this Sargon's profile. He said, no, Epstein didn't kill himself and Joe Biden didn't win. And I'm like, finally, a reasonable opinion. And this guy's like, imagine having to like construct a lie just to not question your glasses. And I'm like, okay, look, explain to me how a president who was able to either flip districts in individual states so hard that districts that had previously voted for Clinton magically either flipped to Trump, or Trump had significantly increased his edge in those districts. How does that, and these are districts where the primary voters are either black or minority. How do you have that phenomenon be true, and yet at the same time claim that Joe Biden, but by math that defies reason and logic, suddenly have more black voters voting for him in this election than ever voted for the for Barack Obama when the blacks voted for him in mass to make him the first black president. Explain to me how mathematically that works for you. And he had no argument. He had no comeback whatsoever, other than just, you're just not accepting the results. No, I'm not accepting the results. We are not accepting the results. There's no reason to accept these results. They don't make any sense. Thoughts, my gentlemen?
Plus, let me add to that. There's investigations happening in Missouri and Michigan and other states.
Yes. Well, and there should be. We have a comment in from Andrea, who said Ground Zero's podcast tonight said that the app that flipped Michigan's ballots to Biden had existed since 2010, owned by NSA, intended for use against foreign elections. That's interesting. That's very interesting. I wish that I had Incel Riot on here, because the NSA is supposedly, according to Q, supposed to be the weapon in Trump's back pocket to expose the election fraud. This is concerning, gentlemen. This is concerning.
They actually set up a few. They actually set up a few things. Actually, they've used the Democrats as. Fuck! I forgot. Sorry.
If I can go on, Bebo.
Yeah. So. Yeah. I've never actually been actively involved in a campaign or anything like that. Like, I've never volunteered for a campaign, but just by witnessing the way it goes, it seems like all of the ballots seem to go through the major metropolitan areas. Like, that glitch is happening here in Michigan, supposedly, right? And
yeah,
and where they count all the ballots is downtown Detroit, right? That's where, and it seems like it's that way everywhere. Like, all the ballot counting, is that the way it works? They have a major mega center in every state that compiles.
No, I'll be honest. No, I'm in Texas, and in Texas, it's a beautiful system. You walk into the precinct, you show your ID. They validate all of your information, and then they hand you a ballot. You go to a table, you fill out your ballot, and then when you're done with your ballot, you go to this machine that scans in your ballot, counts your vote, and then you get a sticker.
Right. I get the voting process. I'm talking about the actual counting of the ballots. The machines, that info has got to be your local county or your local clerk, right? Is in charge. And then every state has their Secretary of State that is responsible for reporting the state's elections, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
And the question.
So them clerks got to get that information. Like all of our ballots end up at Cobo Hall here in Michigan, and they have just a big conglomeration of people down there counting the ballots. So them ballots, once you place them votes in your local, they send them to a bigger hub.
Well, that's interesting to me. So what I'm hearing is, and what's kind of disconcerting to me, is that they would take your ballot, scan it, count it, quote unquote, count it, and then reinterpret it later at some other mega center.
I mean, that's got to be how it works. My guess is with the machines, when they scan it, they probably take that hard drive or the results of each machine, and then they put them all together, is my guess. And then they probably put, like, because here I see them coming in with bins of ballots. I don't know if every area probably don't have machines that scan it. That's how we do it, the same way you explained it. You come in, you get your ballot, and then you put in the machine, it scans it, and then you get your little sticker. So, but them results from the machines has to get to the state officials somehow.
I don't understand how you could fabricate now. I wasn't a mail-in ballot, so I know that for a mail-in perspective, there could be that kind of discrepancy. That makes sense. People just getting what you could call harvested ballots or fake ballots, and then you could have them how do you say mass produced and going towards someone else's favor. But I'm thoroughly confused how you could use this system and somehow it would fuck up, it could glitch, it could give votes in the other direction. I mean, this is some, like, for those of you who might have seen the movie with Robin Williams, this is some Man of the Year bullshit.
Oh, that's what I was about to say.
Have either of you seen that movie?
No. Right,
Okay.
the point I was about to point out, but I forgot about. Apparently, someone set up a sting operation about they popped in fake ballots in the state, 120,000 of them, and the Democrats got them. And now there's been a full investigation.
Well, no, and we actually covered this on the last podcast. The last stream is what they did is all of the official ballots have what's called watermarks with I think what's called a QR code that's backed by a blockchain code that's extremely hard to hack and replicate. So allegedly, Trump's team and Trump's administration has marked each ballot with a specific QR code, backed by a blockchain that no one can hack. So knowing which ballot is fake or is real or fake would be pretty easy to determine that way. That's what I've heard. Or something.
I was actually talking with another gentleman. I was on another show earlier, and like I have a family member that was in the Secret Service. He's not no more, but they're so advanced with like printers now. Like if you try to counterfeit money, they can literally tell like what printer it came from.
Yeah.
Yes. That's how advanced they are, and the general public has no idea that's how advanced the technology is now. Like your printer, your printer basically leaves a fingerprint on whatever it prints.
Holy shit! that is some next level drama that I am not ready to contemplate. So have you guys heard? Apparently, in Georgia, this is what the Democrats allege. This is what this was tweeted out. Apparently, the mail-in votes from the military, their absentee ballots, they went to Biden 4-1.
Yeah, I doubt that.
Now, for anyone who knows anything about the military and how they vote, they are overwhelmingly Republican, because when politics becomes dirty and shutdowns happen, the first thing a Democrat president is going to cut is military spending, and he's going to stop sending the military their paychecks. The military know this, and so they make damn sure that when they cast their vote, they vote in their interest for the Republicans. Because the Republican president is not going to, shaft them their money. So it makes how much do you have to insult my intelligence about the voting trends of the American people how far did this have to go so that you had to force telling? How many lies do you have to tell to sell this bullshit? Like it's amazing to me. It's absolutely amazing.
A lot to discredit your entire party and get an official investigation on you.
I don't know. Like I am praying for my country. I am praying hard that, because I have to assume that virtually every Trump ballot or vote is legit. Biden, on the other hand, all those people who voted and who are being silenced and counteracted by these fake ballots and these fake results, you're literally pissing on more than half the country.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. I know a dude from Sargon's Discord, and he's from Georgia, and he's fucking pissed about Georgia because, Plus, I know a few other people in Georgia as well, and they're fucking pissed.
It's actually beautiful, though. It's actually beautiful because as soon as the state went for Biden, the Georgia attorney or the attorney general said, "No, we're having a recount. This is a lie." As soon as they heard that their state was going for Biden, they said, "Hell no, this is not happening." So you have some state is going to back Trump on this, and that's good to hear. It's good to hear that he has someone on his side, at least on the state level, to help him rectify the situation. So what other glitches have I missed?
Nevada's turned blue. What's odd?
Nevada's razor thin. It was like 12,000 something right now. But you know what amazes me about the whole situation? Okay, you would think with mail-in ballots, like they're all going. I would imagine all mail-in ballots go to the same spot. You would think they would be able to count the mail-in ballots quicker. And everyone's like, "Oh yeah," but some states had it where they had to count the mail-in ballots after the in-person votes, right? But then, okay, I seen the states, they got like 70-80% of the vote done in like 2 hours, and then the last 20% it's taken like 2 days.
I know that's what's pissing me off is that these states like Nevada and Arizona are like fucking razor ass thin. Like we have only like 2% or so left. They're not. They put a freeze on counting these ballots again. And what's pissing me off is that whenever it comes to finishing the job and getting the result and declaring the winner, they don't. And even when Biden is allegedly in the lead, they've stopped counting again. So what does that mean?
Well, but also there, look how quickly they'll declare a state to Biden. Like Arizona's now, they're saying back, Trump could take it, and a lot of the networks declared Arizona to Biden very early in the night, and then
go ahead. They did it. No, sorry, they did it before the votes were even counted.
Yeah. Well, they said there was a glitch
really
there
illegal.
in Arizona too. They said there was a glitch on the amount of ballots that were. They reported like 86% at the time was counted, and it ended up being like 68 or something.
Oh, you're kidding!
Yeah, that's what ended up happening in Arizona. But
that's a load of shit.
Well,
that's a load of shit.
I mean, these people have one job to count freaking ballots, and they got to take the night off. Like, why can't they have two crews, a backup crew or something? This is one night every 4 years. I mean, most people in their lifetime only vote probably about 10 times for president. And these people, they're like, oh, we're tired. We're going to call it a night. We'll be back in the morning.
No. You don't understand. That's what I think that's what they said in either Pennsylvania or Michigan. I forget which one. There were people, poll watchers, who were trying to watch a certain polling station, and they were told, "Oh yeah, we're closing up. We're going to bed. We're going home. Nothing to see here."
Oh, that bullshit.
Then they closed it down, got everyone out, and then they continued counting their own ballots.
Yeah. Well, in Detroit, there was people like Cobo Hall is all glass, right? And then all the people have gathered outside and they're just like looking through the windows, and they're trying to get more Republican poll watchers in there. And they literally like took like sheets of drywall and started putting them up on the windows so people couldn't, because that's the way you show that it's a fair and balanced election, is by covering the windows.
Oh my God.
That ain't fucked at all.
Because that's how we do it in a free country, a democracy. I don't even. And then I've also seen like videos online where supposedly like poll people, they caught them on tape like literally filling out ballots.
And there's another one. I think it was also in the it was either in Chicago or Georgia. I'm getting all of these places mixed up. Yeah. So forgive me if I don't have all of this in front of me right now. But there's audio from Project Veritas where the lead of the poll station is instructing their underlings to lie to voters, to mislead them to either throw away Trump ballots or to they're openly on record, on audio recording, saying that they are going to essentially rig the election for Biden. And you're just sitting here going, what the fuck? Like, they've been caught red-handed. And I mean, I
don't know why.
They weren't caught red-handed. They were caught with the They were caught with the paintbrush.
Yeah, well, it's I don't know. It's literally the same thing. Like, it's how do you expect the American people to be? How can you lie so blatantly?
Well, Well, and then what I love is the right, like all these Republicans, these supposed Republicans coming out and saying to Trump, like, "Oh no, you can't be saying this. Oh, you can't do this," because we know people that are willing to burn down and riot in our cities. No, they would never cheat and do election fraud, right?
Yeah, seriously.
You know,
Perish the thought. Perish the thought.
mostly peaceful protesting they call it, where they riot and burn down and beat up Trump supporters. But yeah, that line that they won't cross is election fraud.
I'm gonna get something. I'll be back in 5-10 minutes.
Yep.
All right, cool, man. We'll see you in a bit.
All right.
Yeah, what do you think of that, though? That's the line they won't cross, is election fraud. They'll beat you in the streets, burn down your business, but election fraud, we won't go that far.
I mean, they fucking admitted it, like right from the offset. Obama's like, yeah, Biden's like, yeah, we built the most sophisticated voter fraud system in the world. I'm like, oh my God, no.
Well, I don't even need no system. I lived it. I seen the difference in enthusiasm for Obama to Biden. There's no way you're going to tell me that more people came out to vote for some. The guy's basically a potato. You know what I'm saying? Like, give me a break. Like, you can't be serious with this. You're trying to sell to me that this man, like, I lived it. I seen it, man. There was people wearing Obama shirts. Man, in Detroit, they were switching gas stations and started calling. There was 2 gas stations that ended up being Obama gas stations.
Well, you know what? And absolutely, you're 100% correct. But when I saw that Georgia in particular had been, deemed by the media, like that the media in its complicity would have the gall to report this unquestioningly, to me is such a damning indictment of our media. Like they are complicit in this deceit, and it is absolutely disgusting. Imagine if you will, the idea that Mitt Romney in 2012 had somehow secured both New York and California, and we had all the same indicators, all the same bullshit, all the same audio leaks, all the same snaky behavior. I would be demanding an investigation, and and to my eternal shame, I voted for Romney. Even I would be like, this is questionable to say the least. And even so, Biden is claiming to have won Nevada, Arizona, and Georgia.
Well, what also, like Michigan, the majority of our state government is Democrat, right? I imagine Pennsylvania is the same. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, what about Georgia? Georgia's relatively Republican, right? But it's turning it's like a purple now almost, right?
Well, no, it has a high metropolitan concentration of minorities, particularly black population in Atlanta.
Right.
But what's confusing is that even if you take that into account, Trump increased his support among blacks and minorities. He's even flipped district in minority districts in comparison to 2016. How the fuck does someone who's improved their performance with minority voters still somehow land up with his opponent getting more black supporters than Barack Obama got when he was first elected? It makes no sense.
Right. And it just so happens it's a year with the big mail-in voting.
Oh yeah. Oh yes. So such a coincidence that this happened in the year with mail-in vote. Exactly. With little to no accountability whatsoever.
Well,
Pennsylvania.
See, I seen them telegraphing this anyway. I predicted a while ago. I'm like, they're setting it up for conflict no matter what. If Trump would have won in a big wave, there would have been conflict. If Trump would have barely won, they would have said he cheated. Okay, now Biden barely. Let's say Biden barely wins, right? That's going to cause conflict on the Republican side. The only way there wouldn't have been any major conflict is if Biden won in a big blue wave, and that's why they were pushing it. And that just shows how. That just shows that's not me. That you? Or is that the guy that left?
No, it's on runner stream. Hang on 1 second. There we go.
And that's why look how far off the polls were.
Exactly, and it's not just how far off the polls were, but we're also expected to believe, and this is something that you might get into if you're looking at the numbers. Despite flipping Congress seats and maintaining a red Senate, we're supposed to believe that these same people didn't vote for Tim Pool has lost the narrative. Tim Pool has actually been reported to say that he actually thinks that this might be an indictment against the culture wars in general, that people are sick of it, that they're sick of the Democrats, but they're also sick of Trump. And so they didn't vote for Trump, but they also voted for the Republican representatives in the Congress. I'm calling bullshit. If you believe that, you're a fucking idiot.
Why not just come out and say it's because Joe Biden is so likable? Give me a break.
All right, now hang on. We have an anonymous user who commented, do you guys think Trump will win in the courts? Yes. And the reason that I believe Trump will win in the courts is because Samuel Alito has already ruled that there will be a separation of ballots that were actually in possession of being counted by 8 p.m. on election night, and the rest will not be counted until later. And those original ballots will be counted first. And if we find shenanigans after that, then those ballots will most likely be discounted because most of them will have been fraudulent. And that's most likely what we're going to see. And the Trump team will most likely gather enough evidence to make that case, that is reflection of reality.
My concern is though, I think they're just gonna mix it all in and say, "Hey, we already mixed them," and then at that point, it's trying to get the first raindrop out of a pool. You know what I'm saying? I think the order came too late. Isn't what I think. But
I'm not sure that the order came too late. What I think is Trump was waiting for them to actually do it. You don't know your enemy's going to walk into the trap, even if you said it. And I think that's exactly what he did. Is he waited for them to, he gave them enough rope, and they took it. That's what I think happened.
Well, it was absurd anyway. Some states allowed for it to be as long as it was post dated by the day of the election or something, they would accept ballots.
No. In Pennsylvania, they straight up said, if it doesn't have a postmark, we're going to assume that it was that it's a valid ballot.
Yeah,
which is of course insane.
Yeah, even the concept of taking it post dated the day of, dude. If you're a responsible adult, right? You're like, oh, I know the election day is this day. I got to make sure I get my ballot in by at least 10-14 days before the day of election. You know what I'm saying? And I also don't like in our state, we have same day registration. You know, so
that is so crooked.
yeah, I don't like it either. You know, but then also in my state, like everyone throws a fit about making ID as a requirement to vote, right? But when you go to vote here, they always ask you for your ID.
Yeah, I mean that is it's a big. In order to vote, you have to prove you have the right to vote.
Mm.
It's basic. This is not at all complicated. And thank you, Anonymous. I love those who are fans. If you would go ahead and join the Discord, it's
Hello?
links are in the description.
Yep, we hear you.
Oh, all right. Sorry, I was.
Welcome back, Runner. Welcome back.
Yeah, check on
The
your
cat's
cats.
fought on my-
Check on your
Yeah, the
cats.
cat's fought on my computer. Sorry.
So yes, we have oh, what the hell was I talking about? Now y'all have done it to me. I've lost my train of thought.
Yeah, we were talking about ID.
Oh yes, I mean seriously, ID is such a basic thing. And we do it for damn near everything else. But why the hell are we not demanding? You have to show ID to get nicotine, alcohol, driver's license.
Guns.
You know, I'm not sure how I feel. Yes, you should have an ID to buy a gun. That's also basic. What?
Yeah, I'm so pissed here. Our governor switched. Like we used to have, if you had like your CPL, I don't know what you guys call them in your states, but if you had your concealed carry license here, you didn't have to get background checks, right? If you had your concealed carry license, you could just go into any gun store without a background check. And you could just buy a gun instantly. Now she switched it when she became governor, and you got to get a background check for every single gun you buy.
That's stupid.
Yeah,
It is stupid.
So you can be literally sitting in the gun store with a gun in your hip, you know, and you got to go through a background check. And sometimes they'll just randomly put a hold on you for no reason. Like I went to Walmart. I was going to just buy this cheap gun, right? Because it was on sale, and they never even got back to me. They're like, oh, there's a hold on it, blah blah. Like 3 days later, I call up, and then there's like, no, there's still a hold on it. I'm like, I got a CPL. Like I should be able to get a gun instantly, and they never called me back. Nothing came of it.
Oh my. That's beyond fucked. We have some bloke that says voter ID equals national ID, and national ID, like social security numbers, will probably be used by the corporation state to further enslave us, a la Mark of the Beast. Mass surveillance apparatus would love it.
Yeah, we're past that.
Yeah, we're way past that. It's already here. I'm not. No,
are you kidding me? They could shut down your bank accounts if they consider you to be a white identitarian.
I mean, don't get me wrong. We already live in a society where that's normalized. Okay. There's a profound difference from, and this is why I was hesitant about the gun thing. That there's a profound difference from walking to a gun store and say, I would like to purchase a instrument, a tool for my self-defense. That is reasonable. It's also reasonable to say, I can prove that I'm a citizen and I have the right to vote. These are two different things.
Yeah.
These are.
Well, and then imagine you're denying a guy that's got a dozen guns at home. You know, like, oh, we're holding you up on this background check. Like I already got an arsenal. Like you're not gonna give me one more.
That's funny. I was looking at the Australian.
Go on.
I'll let you continue. I was looking at the Australian gun laws recently, and it's actually quite easy to get one over here. You got to have property, or you got to live on property. That's the major problem.
Oof. That's actually kind of old school. except what we used to do for voting rights. You had to own land.
Yeah.
That's actually not a bad standard now that now that I have a mortgage.
No, man. I think everyone, when you're born, you should get a gun with your social security number engraved on it. Here's yours.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's no way consistent the demands of the fraudocrats. No, they're not consistent at all because they like to cheat, as this election has shown. Again, it's the thing that keeps coming to my mind that pisses me off is if the worst happens and Joe Biden ends up in the presidency, this asshole has to represent me on an international level. And every other nation, don't get me wrong, I'm sure they have their own corruption scandals, but and their own election fraud on some degree. But this level of blatant theft and fraud, no world leader can respect it. No world leader could possibly look Joe Biden in the eye, shake his hand, and say, "Ah, yes, our duly elected representative from the free world." Get fucked.
I don't know,
There's
man.
absolutely no way.
There's a lot of degenerates nowadays. They might actually respect it more.
I don't think so. I don't think so. Look, there is a, how do I put this? How do I make this point? That there is a way to get power that is it's beyond respectable. Is what it is in my opinion. I don't think other world leaders would look at Joe Biden and say, "Ah, yes, this is this is a model for our future endeavors." I don't think even internationally he would be viewed as a legitimate figurehead, and that's.
I thought the same thing, like similar when all the Hunter stuff came out. I'm like, man, this is gonna cook him. He's gonna be done. But then as I sat on it and thought about it, I'm like, man, these people are such degenerates. They might actually vote for him. They might be more likely to vote for him because his son's a crackhead. Like, yes, he's one of us. And then think about, Bloomberg spent $100 million paying fines for felons in Florida, and they still lost.
Yeah, they still lost, but I'm still sad about Laura Loomer. She did not win that seat. That's still hurting me in the feels.
That was a heavily Democrat area.
Yeah, it was, but still, I am hurt for I'm hurting for Loomer. Yeah. I wish she had won. And you know what? If they do some these investigations, maybe they'll look over her district, maybe, and they'll get her in, because from what I hear, there was some major shenanigans there too. And what is this show about? Now, we've already gone somewhat into the state of the media in this whole debacle and how utterly useless and utterly unquestioning our current media apparatus is. The fact that Fox News has been complicit in protecting, that Fox News has been complicit in protecting and promoting this election fraud.
Yeah, I think they were the first ones that gave Biden Arizona too.
Yes, they were, and it's just shocking. It's like, what use are you if you're going to see the obvious indications of fraud and not call it out?
I don't. Go ahead.
Because they're owned by a different owner now.
That's,
well, he's still.
Yeah, but it's still in the family. Like it's his sons. I think it's
yeah.
Is it Rupert Murdoch?
Yeah, his son is running it, but like regardless, they still own all the shares. If they wanted to take it back over, they could, whenever. He might be talking about Sheldon Adelson, who was running it at one time. Maybe the switch, right? Sheldon Adelson was the one that used to run Fox News, right? Is that correct?
I really don't care who runs it.
But
It's how they run it, and they're useless. Like what?
I don't get this whole concept that all these different media sites get to decide who, we're calling Arizona for Biden, and then the other channel's like, nope, we're not calling that one yet. Why isn't there some type of like government like agency or so? There's got to be some government group that overlooks the elections. Like why aren't they the ones announcing it? Why does Fox News get to decide when Arizona's won, and then ABC's like, nope, we're not calling that one yet?
It's to me, it is completely, and this is an election where that kind of collusion has been revealed. It's been revealed that there is obviously some sort of coordination between these networks to tell us what the truth is, even when the reality in front of us doesn't necessarily mesh. And these are the people that we're supposed to trust to tell the truth and investigate when things don't look like they're up to snuff. Investigating corruption is supposed to be the standard of the media. And the fact of the matter is, when that corruption actually rears its head and it's so obvious to everyone, and it's so we have the media complicity. What's staggering to me is those Republicans in the House and the Senate who are silent, who are waiting for the other shoe to drop, who don't know what side to pick. If you're a Republican and you don't know which side to pick, you need to go. Because if you let this continue, if you let this be the norm, if you let this be the paradigm under which you are willing to be subject to, your ass is grass. You have no future. You have no power. You have no voice. If you are not backing Donald Trump and fighting election fraud on this scale, you deserve to lose, and you will lose. That is the end game. This is a setup for complete and utter domination by one party, completely illegitimately.
I agree. Yeah, and you had Santorum come out, and then you had Chris Christie, and who else? Bolton, and then the guy at Fox News did the same. Like these people, it's all if you notice, all the ones that are most vocal about it are the has-beens too. Like they're not even currently in politics right now.
Yeah, and then there's and then there are people who have been in Congress for years and years, like Lindsey Graham, coming to Trump's defense and joining and taking Trump's side and giving him ammunition. And you're sitting here going, what the fuck is going on here?
I know. And 10 years ago, I couldn't stand Lindsey Graham.
I'll be honest. I've liked Lindsey Graham for a long time. It's almost been a sort of guilty pleasure listening to Lindsey Graham's policies. I don't think he's as I don't think his spine is as strong as Trump's, but his policies have reflected that at least his heart might be in the right place. But no, what kind of useless politician must you be to not see the writing on the wall? Is what my brain is having trouble grasping. If you are a Republican and you are scared into silence because you don't know how this shit's going to shake out, let me just read the writing on the wall for you. If you back Donald Trump and he wins, you will win for as long as you are competently able to. If you back Donald Trump and he loses, your ass is grass. However, if you end up staying silent and or backing the Democrats and Biden wins, your ass is grass either way. Either way, you are done. You have written your own tombstone, and may you lie in that hole.
This is a William Wallace moment.
Oh God!
It is. Like, literally, like, do you stand up and fight this day, or do you live a couple more years and they come to your house?
Yeah, it's absolutely disgusting to me how a politician whose opposition is showing that they are willing to cheat in ways and are willing to create the ways in which they are going to cheat indefinitely and cheat you out of the will of your constituents and your own seat. You should be the loudest motherfucker in the room wanting to figure out what's real and what's not at this point. What is shocking to me is that almost none of them have.
Right. Well, what do you think a Biden agenda is going to look like policy wise?
Oh my God. Okay. I'll be very honest. We're gonna get. I don't even want to entertain that notion, to be honest. Like it depresses me to no end to even consider that thought.
I see some type of mask mandate probably nationwide, right? If the virus gets out of control, he might lock this. Our state's starting to lock down again here. Now, when you go out to eat at a restaurant, you got to give your name and a phone number, and then the restaurant's got to document when you came in and when you left, right?
Oh my God.
That's the same over here in Australia.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I'm in Texas. I don't have that bullshit.
But like it's volunteer here in our state. Like you're not forced to do it. Like my wife works in the restaurant field, and like people's filling out like John Doe phone number, none of your effing business. No one. But the Dems are going to get emboldened if Biden wins. Like she came out today. My governor, Gretchen Whitmire, she's one of the most draconian of the nation on this nonsense. And she came out today and she's emboldened by, she thinks Biden's going to win. And she's like, she called on our state Congress to actually pass legislation making masks in public mandatory.
Oh dear God.
Yeah, no. She did it by executive order at first, and then it got shot down by our Supreme Court as unconstitutional. Now she's literally calling on our Congress to pass a law.
Well, you do know that they're already talking about truth and reconciliation committees.
I see that.
For all of the Trump supporters who were vocal about their support of the president, and I'm thinking, oh my God. Imagine the vacuum. Imagine in a Biden presidency where the vacuum of TDS is an empty black hole void, and the only thing left that they can think to do is find Trump supporters to harass and exile. Good God.
Well, a couple months ago, they actually set up a website. It was called Trump Watch, where you could go put in your neighbor's address and name and see if they donated to Trump.
I am aware of this.
Really?
And yes, they actually published the
Well, then they changed
dimensional.
the name on it now. It's called like Donation Watch, and now they
Yeah.
they made it more politically correct. You can look up anyone's donations now, but at first
Yeah.
it was called Trump Watch.
Yeah, it would be interesting. It would be interesting to compare Trump's donations nationally to Biden's donations nationally. That would be that I think that would be revelatory
Mm.
if you would consider the amount of people who went out and gave of their own money to Trump as opposed to Biden.
Well, I looked up my neighborhood, and I'm in a Democrat area, but but still, I didn't see enthusiasm.
Some bloke also commented that Biden Harris wouldn't be doing anything. It will be the cathedral imposing its will with them running distraction. Well, of course, when I say Biden and Harris and a Biden presidency, we are assuming that we mean the cathedral at large, the powers that be in that regard. I'm not talking about them individual. I'm talking about their effect on the populace. And just to be clear, when I hear about a Biden presidency, let's just go. My mind is actually more scared of the international effect. All of these peace deals that Trump has garnered in the Middle East gone. We can expect a coup and revolution in Saudi Arabia because Trump propped up an anti-corruption prince in Saudi Arabia, a soft coup, if you will. He has completely destroyed ISIS, and they will certainly come back under a Biden administration. We'll have increased tensions on the Asian front, on the Asian and Russian front, and we'll be even more in debt and sending more money that we honestly don't even have to international institutions like the UN, NATO, etc. The entire world is fucked.
Honestly, like nationally, my only concern is probably immigration, like my real concern with Biden. And then I think we have a housing problem on the horizon, no matter who's president, because our mortgage rates are just so low right now that eventually they're going to have to go up at some point. And then also the cost of lumber. I don't know how much you guys pay attention to like this stuff, but a 2x4 is almost $6 right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Good Lord.
And before the virus, it was like $1.97.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Why is lumber so expensive?
Well, they had to shut down a lot of the lumber yards here when the virus first took off.
That's kind of stupid.
And that's another thing that people don't know about is one of the deals that we made with China when they assumed our debt with, I think it was Barack Obama, is not just Barack Obama, but George Bush did the same thing. The Chinese have a right under these deals when they take on our debt and subsidize our debt to go on to our natural soil and harvest natural resources to pay back that debt.
Yeah.
They have the right.
Us back with our shit.
Exactly. They have a right to go onto American soil and cut down trees and cut down lumber for their own use and ship it back to China. And there's nothing that any free American could do about it because it's federally sanctioned. Most people don't know that. And Trump actually put a stop to it when because of the whole TikTok bullshit. When if there was a clause that any corporation that had any ties with Chinese nationalists or Chinese officials could not essentially run, and it also ended that practice of the Chinese coming over and stealing our natural resources. Some bloke, wasn't there some China importing uranium or some shit a year or two ago?
Wasn't that Russians?
Yeah, I thought that was uranium one, and it was with Russia.
Yeah, correct.
So
And
you
then
are correct, but it was
Hillary,
Russia.
when Hillary was in with Obama, we also sold Russia some uranium.
Yes, that is correct.
So supposed our enemies, we were selling them uranium.
Yeah. So the United States under Biden would be bleak to say the least. I shudder to think what. Okay, I want you to I want you all to take a step back with me and realize what iconic moments could a Biden Harris presidency have just symbolically. What are the good what are some good how would you say, what are some good photo ops for the Biden Harris administration if they wanted to demoralize the Trump movement as it has been established for the last 4 years?
Reparations.
Oof, good
Burning
one.
the U.S. Constitution.
Closer. We're getting closer. I imagine them going down to the border and tearing the wall down.
Yeah, that would be.
Ooh,
I think
that would be bad.
they'll try to eliminate all student loan debt and make college free for anyone. He said, "What? Any parents making under 150,000, college will be free for your children." So we're gonna have an influx of inflation in the college. Anyone that's paying is gonna have to pay up the wazoo because everyone's gonna be going to college.
See, that's just depressing for me because anyone who knows the college economy, it's already grossly inflated.
I know.
Like college is so highly overpriced and overvalued. Like they have been the day of reckoning for the educational institutions is long overdue, and it's all because of government subsidy. Like there is no excuse for the amount of money that is dumped
I don't
into.
I don't want to tell you like what university my daughter is going to, but like, do you guys have like sub universities in like Texas?
Like a community college.
No, like a larger university owns it, and it's a satellite like university.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, and they tend to be cheaper, right?
in theory.
Like University of Texas might have like another satellite university that they own, right? And
Yep.
like my daughter's going to a university like that. She's not going to the big university, right? But she's
Yeah.
going to like a satellite university, and it's still $340 a credit.
Oh my
What?
God.
Yeah,
That's
stupid.
insane.
three
That is
four.
absolutely insane.
I'm paying for all my whatever grants she don't get, and I'm paying the rest. So
Well, and you know that under a Biden Harris ticket that would jump to at least 500 at least.
well, I would be free from his standards. I would actually probably benefit from it.
I don't I'm
Well,
pressing you expert out.
whatever you call benefit, but I'm not the type of guy that, I'm almost to the point though. It's like, someone said to me the other day, what would a Democrat do? I said, sit at home and collect welfare. Maybe that's what I should do.
Well, but then you have to cut off your balls.
I know. Sometimes if you can't beat them, though, I guess.
I mean,
I'm a pessimist at heart. Don't mind me.
I don't blame you, especially in these dark times. It seems like in the near future there will only be war.
Well, let me tell you about my healthcare. I used to have healthcare, right, through my employer. Then I started working for myself. Actually, I got laid off. I was a machinist out of high school, right? And I got laid off 1 week before Barack Obama took office. 1 week before he took office. I got to go home and watch Barack Obama get it inaugurated after I got laid off. Right. And then, I lost my health care for my whole family. I was the one providing the health care. Right. When I first got my job out of high school, for my whole family, I had a kid very young. So I had a family at basically like 20. Right. It was $20 a week copay for my whole insurance, right? That's what I had to pay out of my check, right? And then by the time I got laid off from that job, it was like $150 a week. Then I lost my insurance. Now I'm sitting here, I'm talking to you. This Obamacare that supposedly is so great. I have no health insurance, nothing, and let me tell you how this state works over here. Everyone in my whole family, except for me, has health insurance.
That's fucked.
Can anyone explain that to me? And my wife makes more money than me.
Oh, don't say that on my stream. Disavow.
But how can you explain that to me?
Here's my thing. I know you are not the only one in your state who has gone through that hell and know that it was the Democrats and Obama who did that to you. I know for a fact that there are people in your state. Who the fuck is breathing into their mics? Cut it out.
Not me.
That would have been me. Sorry, I'm just adjusting myself.
It's jogging.
Fair enough. But as I was saying, I know for a fact that there are people who, like you, lost your job because of the promise of Obama, that the Democrats have been hammering your income, have been denying you the opportunity to get a good job and support your family. And there are many people who, in the 4 years of Trump, have seen their quality of life in your state improve. And I'm supposed to believe that under those conditions that Michigan went for Biden? that after all of the influx of jobs and support that Trump has given these blue-collar workers and improved their lives, that they would just turn their heads and bite the hand that fed them? That makes no sense. It makes reason stare at the idea that people living their lives, going through the Democrat hell of socialism and being reinvigorated by Trump policies, would suddenly turn and go, no, socialism again. And despite clearly having their lives benefited from a Trump presidency, the idea that these middle-class people, that these blue-collar workers would then turn back again and vote for Biden makes no sense. And it would make sense, to be completely honest, for them to turn back and say, no, we want Trump again, just like we did in 2016. We want something different. We want our jobs back. We want industry back. We want the factories back. We want manufacturing back. That makes sense. That's what they voted for. It's what they got, and it's working for them. There is no reason why anyone who lives in these Rust Belt states would have ever cast a vote for Biden, especially when the Trump policies have blessed them so well. And these people who are sharing your same stories, Bebo, are the people who are being shafted and misrepresented and lied on about their vote and what their state wants. And that is the most and the fact that it's so blatant and in your face, that it's obvious corruption, that it's obvious obfuscation and obvious fraud, that these people's voices are being stolen.
It's so insulting too when they're always talking about like how great the Obamacare and the healthcare. They're always pushing that, and I'm like, I don't understand what ended up happening with us and how it worked here. Is I think it was the same nationwide, but if your employer offered you healthcare, you had to take the employer healthcare, right? right, over the Obamacare, the exchange, right?
Or you went on the exchange for something that was ridiculously overpriced.
You couldn't go on the exchange here if
Oh my God.
if your employer offered a health care, you had to take your employer health care. So before Obamacare, the employer health care was cheaper, right? But then over the years, the employer health care kept going up for us, right? So then what ended up happening, the employer decided that they, at this point, I was going through my wife's work for the family's health insurance, right? And it just kept going up. And then her employer said it was so drastically high. We're not. He sat down with the employees and asked them, like, would you prefer to go into the exchange, or I'll just stop offering it? And at the end, that like 80% of the people were not even taking the employer-based healthcare. Like the whole point of Obamacare was to destroy it. You know, it wasn't to create universal, it's to destroy, it's to get the people to demand universal healthcare, to make it so bad. And then we go into Obamacare, right? And every year the freaking co-pays just kept going up, and you kept getting worse coverage.
Worse coverage. You're paying more for virtually. Here's the Obamacare equivalent for healthcare. It's like having car insurance, but it's just what you would call liability insurance. You're paying for insurance simply to say that you have it. It doesn't actually cover your expenses.
Yeah, like a copay for the family was like $15,000 or something. You know what I'm saying?
You know what, some bloke, you're absolutely right. Abolish insurance. Insurance, insurance, like at its core, it is a scam against acts of God, or this wonderful experience that we call life. Where shit just randomly happens. It's a scam to say all of you pay into this pot in the event that something horrible happens, and we'll cover you. But if anything happens to you, we're going to fight like hell to not pay what we're supposed to pay you. It's a scam. It's an absolute scam.
It's literally like socialism.
It is like socialism. And what it does, what insurance actually does is in its drive to say, yes, we'll cover all of these costs. Everyone assumes that money actually exists, and it drives the costs of tragedy up exponentially.
And it also drives the price of inflation. It causes inflation.
Yeah, blatantly, almost by design. It's designed to say, if anything horrible happens to you, it's going to be expensive as fuck. Whereas if you have like a fender bender, or you're in a car crash, fixing that car is more expensive because things like insurance exist.
Yeah, it's true.
And it fosters a culture where even a fender bender is an astronomically financially dubious event, where the most logical thing for most people would be like, oh, nothing's broken, drive away. That's what most people should naturally do when they get into a fender bender. But because of insurance and because of quote unquote liability, we now have to dot the I's and cross the T's and make sure that our premiums don't rise, because we're hooked into this insurance scandal. Insurance, it's so fucking inhuman. I hate the effect that insurance has had on our culture at large. And that is the same effect that a Biden presidency would have on our lives at large, except not just, car insurance. It would be also, your health insurance. It would be, I used to call Obamacare a breath tax. Because that's essentially what it was. It was, you now owe the government money for living.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I think we're going to leave it there, unless do any of you have any final thoughts?
I'm good.
Nothing really.
All right. Well, last shout outs. I know, Bebo, you have a podcast that you would like to shout out. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Show your wares.
Disavowed
Say that.
Podcast on YouTube, and I also have disavowedpodcast.com. I'm fancy. I actually have a website.
I don't. I just have a Discord in this channel and social media links
Discord.
below.
When you guys were talking about Argon, you're talking about Carl Benjamin?
Yeah.
Yes.
Carl Benjamin.
He has a Discord?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's called Athens.
Wow.
Well, now hang on. Final thoughts.
It's not as worse as Thanks server.
Hang on. Final thought. Does Trump win in the end?
Who's first?
Either one of you two. I'll talk last on that.
No, I don't think he wins. I think he loses, unfortunately.
I think he could win.
I think he could. I don't think it's going to happen, but I'm a pessimist, like I said.
You know what, Bebo? I'm a pessimist as well, but in this case, I'm just going to look at the facts. The evidence for fraud and corruption is pretty much overwhelming. Trump did pack not just these. He didn't pack the Supreme Court. He nominated justices so that we don't have to rely on the vote of the snake Roberts. John Roberts is the fucking snake.
I'll stand by and support him as long as he'll stand by and as long as he'll do it. I'm behind him.
However, I also acknowledge that he has been filling justice seats in federal positions his entire presidency, and I think that is going to assist him greatly in his legal battles. And I'm looking forward to the evidence being presented and Trump winning. I want him to win. I want him to expose the corruption. I want it to be set. And as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'm going to thank my guests. We're going to sign off. As always, guys, stay carnal and God bless.
Yeah.